Okay, are we all set? Good. We'll call to order the meeting of the recommending committee. And item number 1 is called to order. And announcement as far as compliance with the open meeting law.
Yes.
Very good. Number 3, bill number 2007, levies an assessment for SID number 1493, Wallapai Way, Alexander Road, sponsored by our step requirement.
Seeing no one from the SID office, I will represent that this is a standard SID levy ordinance, and it's in order.
Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing no one, recommendation?
I move to approve.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that moves on to City Council for approval. Item number 4, bill number 2007-2, levies assessment for an SID number 1505, Sierra Oste Neighborhood Street Lights, sponsored by our step requirement.
Same representation. This is a standard levy ordinance. Everything's in order.
Very good. Is anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing no one, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
And there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that motion moves on to City Council approval. Item number 5, bill number 2007-3, annexation number ANX 12215 on the north and south sides of I-215 between Shelburne Road and Fort Apache Road. And that is sponsored by Councilman Stephen D. Ross.
This is a long-form annexation. We've gone through all the steps now. We recently received a protest or an objection to the inclusion in the annexation from one property owner who bought from the United States of America during the process. It's my understanding that we have another couple of parcels that had transferred during the process that may want to be taken out of the annexation also. And what I don't know is what planning's position is on taking those items out. So hopefully they know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm looking at RL Homes as the protestor. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Please just step up and give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Scott Anderson,
Scott, sit down, relax.
and I work with Beezer Homes. We are the people that bought the second parcels that was mentioned. When we bought the property from Focus, it was not disclosed to us that it was going to be annexed into the city. We found out through a letter from the city a couple months ago that our property was being annexed. By that time, we've had plans, tentative map approved through the county, drainage study approved through the county. We've submitted our IPs and final map to the county, and we're close to approval on those. And we've been working with staff and the city attorney on this, and it's been determined that the city will accept our county approvals. But we have one more question in regards to our architectural plans. We were planning on constructing our models by the end of February, and we want to see if the city will allow us to submit our construction documents for review and approval prior to the annexation. If that's allowed, then we will probably meet our goal of construction. But if we have to wait until after the annexation to submit our construction documents, then we're going to be delayed, and we would probably want to bow out of the annexation.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. Morgan?
I can answer that question, Marta, Will, Planning and Development. Generally, if you sign, you submit a letter with your plans indicating that you understand that this is at your own risk, that if for some reason the annexation could not go through, then the cost of the plan check that is borne by you would essentially be lost.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that you're requesting that plan check at risk based upon a future action. Generally speaking, and I don't want to make the final decision for the Building and Safety Department, but generally speaking, they will allow that because you're paying for the service of their plan check. If the annexation doesn't get through, then that's your loss in essence, and they will do that with that letter.
So we could get approval prior to annexation if our plans meet
You
city.
would not be able to do actual construction, but you would be at the point of the issuance of the building permit. You would be able to get the permit, because we can't issue a building permit on a property that is not within our jurisdiction. But the plan check could proceed concurrently with the annexation process.
If we're permitted by county for like grading and those items, can we go ahead and do that construction during this time?
That usually, and again, this is Public Works, but usually they would have to review those plans, I don't know to what extent, but to ensure that they meet our standards also. So you would have to check with Public Works. I would imagine if those were plans that were acceptable to the county, it would certainly not take very much time for the city staff to review those plans.
Okay, but
Are you talking about the grading for the models or for the whole project?
for the project, I mean, we have our improvement plans where we probably will have approval in about 3 weeks, which means that we would have approval through the county prior to.
And again, more than likely, if those plans were approved by the county, it would not take a very deep review by the city to ensure that it meets our standards, but that would still have to go through our Public Works Department.
So we're looking at a unknown timeline of
You would have
review.
to chat with them, and they would be able to give you an estimate on that time.
This references, Val, correct me if I'm wrong, that it looks like February 16th, 2007 would be when the described territory
Right.
actually becomes.
Right, unless that date were changed, and you're certainly able to amend that date before the ordinance is finally adopted.
Is that, if everything was on the city timeline, February 16th, would that meet
Your need.
what you're trying to do?
We would probably not have our final map recorded until mid-February to late February, so we might not have a recorded map until after that 16th date. I don't know if there's anything that can be done to delay the annexation for that recorded map. And I don't know if this meeting is the meeting that I need to file our protest. If we, so this is the meeting?
I'd suggest a couple things. Just with the annexation, we like to move them forward because they're time consuming to begin with. But if you could, tomorrow at City Council, if Councilman Ross, who will be representing this area, if you can set up some time with him, he may hold it for 2 weeks. So you guys can walk through a timeline. I don't think anybody's going to object to what you're trying to do. We don't want to slow you down, nor do we want your project to slow the annexation down.
I just wanted to point out that this won't be eligible for adoption tomorrow because it hasn't been published
Oh.
yet. So it won't come back until February 7th.
That gives you time. We're going to note your protest.
Okay.
I would recommend that you contact Councilman Ross's office, specific to your project, meet with him, and that will give us, nothing's final today other than moving it on into our system. So you'll have ample opportunity to address any concerns.
So city council is tomorrow regarding this annexation?
No,
as well?
it won't be for 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the meantime, he's suggesting talking with Councilman Ross
Okay.
to make sure that it all meshes appropriately.
And your protest will be noted for the public record, and you'll have another opportunity if for whatever reason. But by experience, I think your project, if it's, I'm guessing it's a single-family residential development.
Yes, it is.
What's your densities?
We're low density.
Yeah.
We've got 26 lots on 6 acres.
No
I think-
issue there.
Councilman Ross would be the one to kind of take a hard look at it, but I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, our concern is all about timing.
You bet. Time is money.
Yes.
With everybody except the city, time is money. But our annexation will move forward, and you'll have 3 weeks before this comes back.
Okay.
But if you would, in fact, if you want to go upstairs and just leave a card, or leave a card, and I'll hand deliver it to his office.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Scott. Anyone else wishing to speak?
I move for approval with the protest noted.
Very good. Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that moves on with the protest noted to City Council. Thanks, Scott, for
I
coming
think
down.
you're going to find it's going to mesh well.
Okay. Thanks. Item number 6, Bill number 2007-4, clarifies and standardizes the provisions that govern the expiration and termination of zoning-related applications and approvals, sponsored by our own Margot Wheeler.
Thank you, Councilperson. This text amendment is one to ensure that when an applicant has, for instance, an SUP and a variance and a site development plan review, that they have concurrent expiration times so that they don't apply for one EOT and drop another one. This would make the resolution of intent, site development plan review, variance, and SUPs, when the variance and SUP are for new construction, all to expire within 2 years, and SUP or a variance that do not require new construction would expire in 1 year. In this way, it's much easier to track the expiration of these various items for both the staff and the private development community. We recommend approval.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing no one, entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That moves on to City Council for
Thank you.
approval. Item number 7 is citizens' participation. Anyone wishing to speak to the recommending committee? Seeing no one, this meeting is adjourned.